homebistro.com. Freshly prepared, home-delivered, restaurant-quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50-plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commit. Welcome to the one-shop gourmet food delivery, specializing in affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from homebistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with homebistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with homebistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is Saints Super Bowl.
Yeah. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that to the black and gold family, man. Much love to the great Saint think tank, the Sports Coma. Wednesday, we in the building. Big ups to the family members on this installment of the Sports Coma. Much love to the black and gold family members. We up in this thing, man, for another installment of the Sports Coma. Who that to the family members. Appreciate y'all, man, for being in the building. Much love to the black and gold family members in the live stream. Big ups to you, baby. What's happening, baby? Big ups to you. Like I always start off the show, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and you're the great Saint think tank, the best of the black and gold nation, the best of the Who Dat nation. The best, period, is in the building. Much love to you guys, and salute to the great Saint think tank and the Who Dat nation. What's happening, family? Big ups to you guys. On this Hump Day edition of the Sports Coma, TSC Saints chopping down roster to get below cap. And this is due to years upon years upon years upon years upon years of irresponsible budget handling. I promise once Mickey Loomis finished doing what he's doing with the Saints, he can go and be a politician somewhere and kick the can down the road. Boy, you want to talk about irresponsibility, but that's another subject of a matter. But in this episode of the Sports Coma, I thank everybody for chiming in on this sucker as we get going in the live stream. Big ups to you as we hit our roll call. Big ups to the family members. Eternal Absolute, who that to you? Jerry Poor Jr., who that to you? Official Johnny Rocket, who that to you? Cameron Setliff, who that to you? What's up, Cameron? Who that to you? Morgan, who that to you? Superstar Louisiana boy, who that to you? Appreciate you, King Creole the first with the Super Chat family. Salute, thank you for the Super Chat family. Much love to King Creole. And who that to King Creole the first, baby. Brother Torrey Shepard Sr., who that to you as well. Big ups. What's up, Kayshawn Gordon? What's up, Kayshawn? Who that to you, fam? Much love to you. What's up, Anthony? Who that to you, fam? Thank you for being here. KB, what's up, baby? She says, this is the show I wait on. I can't F with the others. Who that, Big Q in the fam? Big ups, KB. Much love, baby. Who that to ya? All right, who that to the rest of the family members chiming in? John, what's up, John Thompson? Who that to you, brother? What's up, Edward? Edward Green, who that to you? Much love, family. Thank you for chiming in as well. Big ups to you. Who else we got chiming? What's up, Lori? Who that to you, Lori, baby? Big ups to my girl, Lori Hackler, in the building as well. Much love to you, family. Tragic 504. What's up, fam? Chiming in from Texas. Who that to you, brother? Good to see you. Dr. Key is in the building. What's up, Dr. Key? Appreciate you, my friend. Welcome to the show as well. Big ups to Kai the Great. What's up, Kai? Who that to you, Kai the Great? 84 says Big Q to my Who That family. What's good? And much respect to y'all. Same to you, brother Kai. Thank you for being here. Brother JT, blessings to brother JT. Much love to you. Thank you for being here as well. Kenyatta Lavender, big ups to you, Kenyatta, and welcome to you. Welcome being here as well. Who that to you? And who else we got? Tell me about it. Tell me about it. 504 in the building. Who that to you, baby? Appreciate you as well. Brandon Reese, who that to you, fam? Big ups to you. Who else we got here? Kai says you forgot to add more years and years and years. We're going to go over that, man, because listen, we had a very productive and awesome Patreon show Tuesday. When you don't see the Sports Coma family, that's because we be on Patreon. So if you like the platform, go in the description section below and look for that Patreon link. Subscribe and join. We did a 3-hour show breaking down the Marcus Williams franchise deal, man. We TSC Q&A is so cool because it's 40 plus shows of lock content covering the Saints that we do every Tuesday. And man, we got really intricate into breaking down that whole Marcus Williams situation. And it was very insightful. So I appreciate all the family members that participated and was there to watch the show. Very good show, man. A lot of information we were able to jump into, you know. So big ups to you. Thank you, Kai, for that comment. JT, big ups to you. Lewis, what's up, Lewis? Who that to you, Lewis? Good to see you in the chat. Josh, what's up, Josh? Big ups to you, fam. Wayne, what's up, Wayne? Who that to you? Daryl, what's up, Daryl Hatcher? Who that to you as well, brother? Sat Scott, who that to you? Joshua Hoover, who that to you? Big ups to you. Ice Cream Man, what's up, Ice Cream Man? Who that to my dog, Ice Cream Man? 504 in the building as well. Much love. Who that MVP? What's up, brother? How you doing in there? Big ups to the Who That MVP. What's up, Latasha? Latasha in the building. Latasha Newman, who that to you, baby? Much love. How you doing? And big ups to all of the family members, man, that's in the live stream. If I didn't give you a who that, give me a who that back, and I'll give you a who that, baby. How that sound? So, I mean, like I said, I'm big on the acknowledgement of all the great Saint Think Tank family members, man, because you guys, without your support, without your love, without everything that you bring, this will be a lonely, very lonely conversation as I be sitting up here talking to myself. Pull that damn guy off of there talking to himself. So big ups to the family. Thank y'all for your super chats and your cash apps and everything else like that there. In this episode, family, it's going to be right up under 2 hours, family, that we're going to come at you with. It's not going to be a super long show for Wednesday. Going to be right underneath the 2 hours. And I need just that much because there's a lot of stuff to cover in this edition of the show, in this Hump Day edition of the Sports Coma. A lot of news to cover. And of course, we're going to talk about all the stuff, the cuts, the moves, the shakes, the breaks, the battles, the bumps, and every damn thing else that we got to do as we heading toward March the 17th. And remember, a lot of this we already called. You know, I've been telling people, telling family members, we're going to get rid of Latavius. Family members, we're going to get rid of Emmanuel Sanders. Family members, we're going to get rid of this guy. Family members, we're going to get rid of this guy. Remember, we've been ahead of the curve, man. We constantly and repetitively are always, most of the times ahead of the curve because we don't practice a hive mind. We don't come from a hive mind. When you critical think everything and you look at things from multiple levels, you're going to always be ahead of the curve as opposed to somebody sitting out there looking at things one way or following the rest of these people. It's always multiple ways you can look at it. That's how you get the full understanding of it or understanding of it or overstand, however you want to phrase it. That's the real. But anyway, big ups to the family members and everybody in this thing. Big ups to you. And appreciate y'all for chiming in. JT says, Q, when the Saints restructure contract, everyone gets guaranteed money. Yeah. And most of the times that's absolutely right. They got to agree upon the restructuring. And as you can see, they're touching quite a few. And this is going to be pretty rampant up until right before March 17th as well. So we're going to get into some analysis as well. And I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank y'all for y'all support and all of the great things you do. So please do me a favor right now. Hit upon the like button if you hadn't hit the like button. If you're a subscriber watching the Sports Coma, I'm going to tell you what, you're going to love this. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Join the Great Saint Think Tank. Join it today, baby. B Jizzle, what's up, fam? Big ups to my dog, B Jizzle, much love. He says, man, I'm sick to my stomach watching all these players go. Bro, I told you, fam. I told the family member, I said, hey, fam, this team will not resemble the team you knew from last year. I've been saying that because I understood what they needed to do to get this team underneath. And see, that was a result. The talented team last year was a result that we were irresponsible financially speaking. That's why you see, and you got to cut all these players and restructure all this kind of stuff. That's irresponsible cap management. That's what kicking of the can down the road is kicking the debt and situations into the future for somebody else to deal with it. It's not responsible. And I was like, okay, once we get a handle on it, let's stop practicing this. That way we be responsible handling it. But this is a trend that we've turned and put a positive spin on a negative thing. If you think about it, kicking up the can is not a good thing. And really it's something done in desperation. But if you budget your house, you budget your bills, you know that you can't perform this practice financially speaking. And many times you'll get screwed up. Your finances get screwed up. This is not correct. This is not correct balance, budget balancing. This is pretty much what Congress do with all your money. They write checks and they don't care. They don't give a damn. They screw up. They say, listen, just get them old people out there to bail you out. Oh, you stole all that money, bank? Oh, that's all right. Don't worry. You took a bunch of bad bets? Oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it. We're just going to make them bail you out. Boy, I'll tell you, it's a strange world we live in. But anyway, let's keep going, family. Hit the point on the like button. Thank y'all for being here. What's up, old cooler? Big ups to you as well as we get ready to start the show. And we're going to get it underway, man, with this one. So we're going to get here. Hold on here. Make sure I'm here. Hold on here, family. We're going to give me just a second. And I'm going to share the screen with the family members here. All right. All right. Now we there. All right. Saints continue. Now, this is the first article. And like I said, several articles that we need to go off here, check on right here. And this is the first one that we're going to deal with, which is pretty much, hold on here. The Saints continue the contract restructures with two more players. This one's coming from the Canal Street Chronicles. There's several other articles that we about to get off into. And I'm going to give some thorough breakdown on this crap too. Yeah. I hear you tell me about it. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Appreciate that. And this is the crazy thing, man, about all this. We're going to, just pardon me, family, as we get going in this thing, man, because this is going to be, it's going to be kind of long-winded on my part. So players Saints continue to contract restructures with two more players. Today, of course, the other day was Demario Davis and, of course, Cam Jordan. Today is Andrus Peat. And who else was it? And Malcolm Jenkins. So the New Orleans Saints and every other NFL team has just found out the next year's salary cap, which we'll cover that, was set at 182.5. And it is significantly higher number than the 170 million figure it was originally thought to be early in the offseason. Still, the Saints have quite a bit of work to do to get under that 182.5, which is actually closer to 185.5 due to the cap roll from 2020. The New Orleans Saints have already restructured players' contracts from the likes of Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, and a few others. Thank you, Morgan, for your super chat. Appreciate your family. Much love to you. And appreciate your super chat. Much love. Thank you. All right. And, Davis, Jordan got restructurings, cap savings. They freed up $13 million. Now, today it was, of course, veteran safety Malcolm Jenkins has restructured his contract to save about 3.4, and cap space. Perhaps even bigger news is the fact that offensive lineman Andrus Peat, who a lot of people was saying, once again, thank you, Morgan, as well. Like I was saying, now a lot of people was waiting for Andrus Peat to restructure, and of course, people like you, he got overpaid, yada yada. And there's the point. But look what happened with Pete. He freed up $6 million in savings. It represents New Orleans chipping away at the deficit. And now they're $9.4 million closer after the restructuring of Jenkins and Pete gave them $9.5 million damn near between those two guys. Now, off note, while many see the 2022 as the earliest, easiest, cheapest date to move on from Pete, this restructure likely moves that date 1 year to the right to 2023. And it doesn't mean the Saints won't stop in the near future, but it does make the likelihood of him being tied to the Saints for the foreseeable future that much more is a reality. After these new structures, the Saints are currently $48 million over the current cap. That could be further reduced through the extensions of players like Ramczyk, Lattimore, which is coming, and now that Marcus Williams, after he was franchise tagged. Furthermore, players like Thomas could restructure their contracts. They further help free up space, which should be something coming to soon. You get a nice chunk of change back on Mike Thomas. So all this stuff is in play as well. So like I said, $9.4 million in savings between the restructurings of Andrus Peat and Malcolm Jenkins that occurred today. Another thing to cover here, and it's coming directly from one of my favorite Saints resources, the Saints Wire. NFL sets 2021 salary cap at 182.5. What does it mean for the black and gold? Expect a flurry of moves here as well. The NFL informed, hold on, let me get this off here. The NFL informed teams on Wednesday that the 2020 salary cap will be set at 182.5, a slight bump from the projected 180, and a steep fall from last year's 98.2. Revenue losses due to the C virus led to a down year in spending, which is bad news for the Saints. Still, the Saints could use all the help they can get at 182.5. It's better than 180, if just barely. Now, unspent cap space rolled over from last year. The spending limit is about 185.5 through 9.9 million or so in dead money left behind from the terminated contracts is weighing them down a bit. Now, I expect the flurry of moves in the days ahead. The Saints will have to work around the clock to reach cap compliance before the start of new league year on March the 17th. So it's Hayabusa, who that to you. Good to see you in the chat. Big ups to you, fam. But the real deadline is the legal tampering period that opens up on March the 15th. They'll be active in free agency between retaining their own players and searching for upgrades. Now, it's easier to sell an offer to someone when you can point to your available cap space to show you can pay them. So how much cap space do the Saints have right now? They created 9.4 in savings between Pete and Malcolm, as we covered just a moment ago, which followed a one-year extension with running back Dwayne Washington at the vet minimum, bumping a less valuable contract below the 51 threshold, which is pretty smart by Mickey, and costing only 70 G's against the cap, as well as the assurance of the franchise tag to Williams, which is valued at 10.6. Now, all that said to illustrate that it's a very fluid situation. The Saints salary cap estimate can change quickly. For now, though, I have them with roughly $238 million in cap commitments against 185.5, which is the cap itself, and they have to spend a resulting $52.5 million still to chip away. So you're still $50 million in the red. How about that? You're $50 million in the red. You know, a lot of money, man, a lot of money. All right, let's keep going. New Orleans Saints awarded 3 compensatory picks in the 2021 NFL draft. So not only did the NFL get up off its you-know-what and start letting you know what the actual cap was this year, but they also dispensed with the compensatory picks, which is good news for the black and gold because the Saints add 2 picks in the 3rd round and 1 in the 6th. And usually the compensatory model doesn't benefit us, but it's good to have that going on this year as well. So the Saints have been awarded 3 compensatory picks, and boy, I'm telling you, this is fantastic. Now, if they still haven't, and bear this in mind, and remember when I tell y'all this, please put this in your Saints brain, the pocket on the side, and remember that the NFL still has not, Goodell in particular, hadn't hit your ass with the punishment that the Saints had at the end of last year when they found out that Alvin Kamara was not wearing the C19 watch, the tracing devices and all this kind of stuff. He refused to wear it, and Sean Payton allowed him to refuse to wear it, and that was against what the players and the NFL agreed upon. So it's going to be a stiff penalty, could be cash, but we know for certainly it's going to be a pick or picks. Do they take 2 picks? Do they take 1 pick? Perhaps I'm thinking conservatively 1 pick comes. They take one of these 3rd round picks from the Saints. You know, that's the worst case scenario. Maybe the best case scenario be they take the 6th rounder. Who knows? They took the 7th from you already. So with that being said, let's just go into this article and cover it. The Saints, who currently have the 28th overall pick in the 1st round after posting a 12-4 regular season record in 2020 and winning the NFC South title for the 4th consecutive season, will add 2 third-round picks in the 6th round selection to their 2021 draft class. The first third-round pick, which is slotted to fall at 98th overall, the 35th pick in the round, is as compensation the Saints received after losing quarterback Teddy Bridgewater as an unrestricted free agent. Bridgewater started 5 games in 2019, and New Orleans went 5-0 with them, and then New Orleans with Drew Brees sitting there injured. Now, the second third-round pick to fall at number is 105 overall. The 42nd pick in the round is compensation for the loss of pro personnel director Terry Fontenot, who was hired by the Atlanta Saints to be their general manager. And the NFL added a feature to compensate franchises who develop minority coaches and front office executives that go on to become head coaches and general managers. So the Saints also get another pick next year. So the teams that lose a minority coach or executive to a head coach or general manager job with another team will receive a 3rd round compensatory pick for 2 consecutive years. If a team loses a minority coach and an executive to head coach and general manager jobs, it will receive a 3rd round compensatory pick for 3 consecutive years. Now, the 6th round pick, which is also the compensatory pick to fall at 217 overall, which is third pick in that round, is compensation for the loss of linebacker A.J. Klein as a free agent. Now, Klein started all 15 regular season games. He played in 2019 and for the Saints, and played 16 games for the Bills in 2020. And A.J. Klein was balling for Buffalo. Let me tell you what. He went up there and had an excellent balling season with him. A.J. saying, I could still play this game. You went up there and that defense really worked with him. What's up, Dada? Who that to brother Dada? And Ramsey. What's up, Ramsey? Big ups to you. And who that to you, fam? Thank you for being here. So with that being said, family, the Saints get with the NFL awards the Saints 2 third-round picks and a 6th round pick as a part of its compensatory model. So that's good news. Very good. Slade Smith, who that to you, fam? Good to see you in the chat. All right, now let's keep it moving as well. Saints releasing wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders and linebacker Quan Alexander clearing more cap space, $50 million, right? Got to keep cutting, got to keep cutting, got to keep cutting. This coming from NFL.com. And with the salary cap now set, the Saints have begun their aggressive roster trimming, sending 2 notable names out of town. New Orleans is releasing wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders, which we said yesterday the Saints were trying to trade Emmanuel Sanders and Latavius Murray and Malcolm Brown. Why would I trade? And then, of course, we talked about this. What's up, Todd? Who that to you? We talked about this, family, on the TSC Q&A live, our Tuesday special show on Patreon. You know, if I'm a GM in this league, you know, just call me GMQ for wherever team you can imagine. And the Saints told me that they had Emmanuel Sanders, Latavius Murray, and Malcolm Brown on the trade block. Would I trade for those guys? Of course not. You know why I wouldn't trade for those guys? Because I know you'd be coming up off those guys between March 15th and March 17th to get up under that cap. So if I was patient enough, I would get those guys anyway at the price that I want, because I know eventually you have to move them off the team because you're $50 million under the cap. So that's what happened today. They tried at first, said we're going to see what we can get for him. Of course, they couldn't get nothing from him, so they just chopped them off. So Emmanuel Sanders, 1 year with the Saints. And like we said, this was a Super Bowl or bust move. Emmanuel Sanders is a Super Bowl or bust move. Malcolm Jenkins is a Super Bowl or bust move. They had Malcolm Brown in that. He can actually have stayed on, I guess, if they'd been a little bit more creative. But the reality is the Saints simply don't have the money. And, you know, this year in particular, to be able to do things like keep certain talents around. So as you can see, Malcolm, Brown, coming up off the books. You see Latavius Murray eventually going to be released. You see guys like Emmanuel Sanders. When he leaves, that does lower the talent level of the wide receiver core. And overall, a lot of these veteran players that the Saints had been added will fall off to make room for younger draft picks, undrafted guys, as well as cheap veterans. So be prepared to deal with that. And I've been warning the family members before any of this got going, just to pace yourself, because the team won't resemble what it was last year, especially at the quarterback position on top. So let's carry on. New Orleans is releasing wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders. It's NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. A source informed him of the decision. Now, the Saints are expected to release Kwon Alexander in a couple of days. The release will save the cap space needy Saints more than $19 million. And Alexander's release doesn't include any dead money. Now, Sanders' departure will account for $4 million in dead cap, but he do give him $6 million. Now, Sanders has become somewhat of a roving mercenary in the last couple of years, being traded from Denver, where he spent 6 seasons, the Niners, to take up to a Super Bowl in 2019, then signing with New Orleans to follow a similar blueprint of the Lombardi Trophy. He's been a solid contributor in both instances, and though he's 33 years old, he can bring value to a team looking for a veteran at that position. Alexander arrived in New Orleans via midseason trade coming from the San Francisco 49ers in a deal that sent Kiko Alonso packing along with a conditional 5th-round pick. Remember that? West in November, and the linebackers' arrival appeared to be a savvy addition for a Super Bowl contender, but never made it to the most important stretch of the season due to the Achilles injuries. Now, Alexander played in 7 regular season games, recording 27 tackles, 4 passes defense, and 1 forced fumble, and his last snap came in Week 16. He's still recovering from the Achilles, torn Achilles, that is, but is expected to be back in time for training camp, according to Rappaport. Sanders, meanwhile, is saying goodbye and looking for his next destination with the flurry of from Mickey Loomis's office seemingly not slowing down anytime soon. Also, remember, the Saints also announced they agreed to terms with Dwayne Washington. Now, remember, Dwayne Washington is pretty much a similar running back, not as big as Latavius Murray, but a one-cut north-south runner. That he is very brutish runner. Hopefully, the Saints give him an opportunity to kind of step up and do some stuff. Who that to you, Seabrook Fishing Sinkers? What's up, fam? Good to see you in the chat. CT Crusher, who that to you, baby? Good to see you, my brother. Appreciate you in the live stream. Much love to you. Please strike upon the like button, family. Well over 90 of us in the chat. Please hit the like button and please subscribe if you aren't subscribed to the platform. So with that being said, fam, there it is. Emmanuel Sanders, Kwon Alexander coming up next. So let's keep it moving, shall we? And of course, let's talk about this. This is despite all of the movements. This one broke on Tuesday. And like I said, we covered it. Who that to you, Ramsey? We covered it on the TSC Q&A live. Like I said, 3 hours we spent on this topic. But what's interesting, just to just share some of the information. Who that to you, Patrick? What is that? Patrice? Thank you, Patrice. Appreciate you being here. Who that? But listen, this is the thing, man, that I wanted to talk about dealing with this. The Saints place franchise tag on safety Marcus Williams. Now, of course, the question would be, hey, Q, what the hell, why would the hell the Saints would place a franchise tag on Marcus Williams when they're $50 million in the hole, Q? What sense does that make? Well, you know, we're going to cover that in a minute. We're going to go over the article and then I'm going to give you my thoughts. What's up, Trill One? He says, who that? Didn't believe me when I said that was going to happen. All right. Well, yeah, you absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right if you said that, because we knew eventually when you Super Bowl or bust, that's what that means. We you know, when we didn't make it to that next level, Super Bowl or bust means you got to bust the roster up. It's either you make it or you don't. Well, we didn't make it. And as a result, we have to clear and get up under. We $50 million worth of contract in the red, which is absolutely ridiculous. You know, we gambled, we lost, and we're in debt. So we got to fight our way out of this thing. So that's what ended up happening. So what's up, Keldrick? Who that to you, bro? Good to see Keldrick in the building. Who that to you? Appreciate you. All right. If we got any new people in here, please strike the subscribe button and join the Great Saint Think Tank. 100 people in the building. Let's keep it rolling. Saints franchise tag Mr. Marcus Williams. Now, of course, a lot of family members seen that and said, well, you know, and see me get animated about it because it doesn't make any sense. But, you know, we're going to talk about it. What's up, Joe Gidry? Who that? No one does salary cap gymnastics like Mickey Loomis in the New Orleans Saints front office. Now they're giving themselves a few more aerial cartwheels to account for the coming week. Sitting as the most cap-strapped team in the NFL didn't stop the Saints from utilizing franchise tag on Tuesday. The club is placing franchise tender on safety Marcus Williams. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport first reported per source informed of the situation. New Orleans has announced the news. Salary cap is not officially set, So figures aren't finalized. Well, this was yesterday's report, but the franchise tag is for safeties is estimated at 10.5. Some people saying it's right around 11. Who that to you, Joseph? Who that to you, Joseph Johnson? Much love, fam. Appreciate you being here. So they're saying 10.5 or 11, regardless of the situation. That's where the tag will be placed. The Saints have wanted to find a way to retain the former second-round pick, who remains a key member of the Saints' stifling defense. Williams is a plus playmaker roving all over. I don't agree with that shit. I'm sorry. Listen, this is these NFL reporters, and these people don't really do any real intricate work on everybody. They pretend to cover all teams, but you can't possibly cover all teams the way a person like you or me do. That's straight up. What's up, brother Matt? Who that to you? Swag fan? Who that to you as well? These NFL people do not cover the Saints in the way that, say, you or I would. We're not really intricately caring about anybody else, although we know about other people's squads. But when you talk about the New Orleans Saints, you got to talk to you or me, guys like us, because the reality is we study this team. We cover this team every day. We listen to every damn interview, article, everything that they say. We cover it. If they were handing out master degrees in Saintsology, you and me and everybody else that's in the Great Saint Think Tank would have one, because they know what the hell they're talking about. They know this team. So when I hear spills from the national press about him being a playmaker, I disagree with that. Now, he made some plays, 13 interceptions over 3 years, breaks down to basically 4 years, Over 4 years, he started 60 games for the Saints. He got 13 interceptions, which break down as roughly 3 interceptions a year. When you start looking at it like that, that don't seem like it's a lot to it. And no Pro Bowls during that period of time. And if you look at his statistics, you can see that the first year it was a droppage in production from the first year and going up until this year of the contract. Me personally speaking, I think we can do better than Marcus Williams. That's just my analysis. My main hit on Marcus Williams is he's a poor tackler who takes poorish angles, who doesn't have closing speed at times and then he's a whiffer. Not just the Minnesota Miracle, but there's several other plays, including times during the season where he will whiff on tackles. Remember, at the goal line, he had several times 2 years ago to blow up quarterbacks at Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott on the goal line, only to whiff at them. Times when he just would tackle people up high, which made no sense. He is a poorish tackler. You cannot, fundamentally speaking, and listen, I love Marcus Williams. He's a good dude. I really do. But he's not the type of mindset. You need a tough, rough, grimy, knock your ass into next week's safety, pumping fear and intimidation throughout the opposing wide receiver groups. You can't feel free like you just skipping along and through the tulips on a beautiful day and catching balls across the center of the field and holding your hand up, making a first down gesture without me punishing you around that. This is my house. How dare you try to catch a ball in it? That type of mentality is we need back there. You say, well, Q, who are those guys? There are plenty of guys that play like that. In particular, 2 that I really like is the guy from the Raiders, Abrams, the young safety, comes downhill, knock your ass off. And then, of course, you got Jonathan Simmons and other really good, talented safeties that will knock you in the next week. So we need that type of mentality on the back end of the defense. That's number one. Number 2 is the tackling aspect. He is an incredibly poor tackler, and fundamentally speaking, it is not a good idea to have a last line of defense safety, which he is, who can't tackle that well. That will result in touchdowns, giving up on the back end. You need somebody back there you can trust. We need a top. If he's not the best tackler on the team, he needs to be the top 3, one inside the top 3. The man is not a good tackler. That is very dangerous to have him as a last line of defense. And of course, he has brain farts. Now, he played better after the second matchup with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this past season. He did do better because a major part of that was Malcolm Jenkins he stopped covering the tight end. That was after they picked up the trade of Quan Alexander. Prior to the Tampa Bay game, Quan didn't play in the Tampa Bay game. Alex Anzalone did, but Malcolm Jenkins was able to slide back to where he was and was able to coach up Marcus Williams back there, and that helped them tremendously. Now, to be fair, the entire secondary was struggling prior to that second Tampa Bay matchup in which we dominated them. After that, the light went on and the defense kicked in and they started really kicking ass. But Marcus Williams needs a lot of work. Now, can Chris Richard work with Marcus Williams to get him to be a better tackler? He could be. He could be. But are you willing to pay $11 million to see him do it? I mean, then the obvious damn thing is the fact that you are $50 million in the hole and financially irresponsible for you to tag this man. You're already trying to cut cap down and you're adding 10 to 11 or whatever it's going to be onto the cap when you're $50 million in the red. How responsible is that? A responsible team would not have tagged this man. You can't afford him. So, we're going to see how it shakes. But, like I said, we're going to keep it going. But I'm not done with it. We're going to go into it from their side. I'm going to finish talking about it. Tagging Williams means more salary cap gymnastics. See? More gymnastics. And pretty much what he's saying, he's trying to make it sound kiddie that the fact that Mickey Loomis is creating more work for itself. Because there's only so many contracts that you can work on to get underneath there. And then the question to the Great Saint Think Tank is this. Let me ask you guys this. How much money do you think you're going to have once we come out of the red? Put it in the chat right now and let me know. Put that in the chat and let me know. Alex, what's up, fam? Put that in the chat and let me know, bottom line, how much money do you think the Saints are going to have after they get out of the red? Because you only have so many contracts you're going to cut away. The mere fact that you got to cut this much and restructure this much is showing you that you're ridiculously irresponsible from a financial standpoint and that we've been kicking the can down the road for years now. And that ultimately, if it wasn't for C-19 pushing us up against the wall and stopping the road, we would be forced to do it. This is absolutely ridiculous. We can't afford that man. Not to mention, what about Jameis? For my Jameis people out there, how much you think Jameis is going to cost? And would you be able to afford him after that? So, I mean, that's just stuff I want to get your brain on. Enlighten me. Now, the extension for Williams could come down the road to lock him up for a long term and lower his cap. Now, the 10 plus million safety tag is actually very affordable, according to him. What he's saying is very affordable. Affordable for a team that's not in the red, people. That's like you balancing your budget for wherever you live and what you do. If you don't have the money, how you going to take your ass out there and go buy a brand new car and you ain't got the money? You turning yourself upside down. But of course, in the world of football, that don't apply, right? Every world that applies. Good sense applies everywhere. It does. So, which is likely why the Saints utilize the option rather than retain the 24-year-old to the open market. Now, that's a point because this is where I'm going to go next with it. All right? Let's look at it. The move also can mean extensions for players. Like, it's definitely going to mean that Ryan Ramczyk, Lattimore extensions are coming soon. So that's going to free up. But you're $50 million in the red, man. So it brings me to this question, and we're going to do a little research and let you guys see the last time the Saints tagged somebody. It's coming from Saints Wire. Brief history of the Saints franchise tag. Okay. But first, before I get to that, let me go here and I'm going to explain. I know a lot of you people out there, the Great Saint Think Tank, who that to you, Kenny? What's up, Revolt? Who that to you as well? Donald McKenzie, NOG Supremacy, Darian Bonds. What's up, fam? Now listen to this, family. When the Saints franchise tag Marcus Williams, my question, and I tweeted to the reporter who covered it, what kind of tag is this? It was a franchise tag, but they come in two varieties. It's a non-exclusive, and this is an exclusive. And then, of course, it's the transition tag. Now, according to, and this is coming from NFL.com, this is the meaning of the non-exclusive franchise tag, which would then say to you, okay, this is why the Saints are doing this. Now, we covered it on the TSC Q&A live in intricate detail, and I can't really go into it deep like I did there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give just a small breakdown of it. The non-exclusive variety of the franchise tag, which is probably what this is the most commonly used tag. When it most refers to the franchise tag, they're generally talking about the non-exclusive version, which is a 1-year tender for the average of the top 5 salaries of at that player's position over the last 5 years, which according to information puts it at 2.5 or 11 right now. That's still in the air. I have over the cap says it's around 11.5. Some people are saying it 10.5. I'm thinking it's closer to 11. But this is what happened. It says the top 5 salaries of that player's position over the last 5 years are 120% of his previous salary, whichever is greater. Now the player, listen to this, very key points, just a little research to uncover this. The player can negotiate with other teams. The player's current team has the right to match any offer or receive 2 first-round picks as draft compensation if he signs with another organization. Aha! As Eddie Murphy said, first coming to America. So this could be a part of the strategy, right? Now, of course, Sean Payton, regardless of whatever we like, Sean Payton says he likes Marcus Williams, and whatever deficiencies he has, he doesn't want to have that much turnover with the safety position, right? So they'll make the sacrifice of tagging this man at 10.5 or 11, whatever the two is. But the market value is set as it has him between 13 to 14 million. Okay, you get that? So if the Saints want the man, which they do, the tag pulls him in place, and basically what it does is it says, okay, we're going to hold you to this amount of money. So he still can go out and talk to other teams about a contract. Let's say that he finds somebody that likes him, that wanted to give him that kind of money. Well, if you tried to sign him away on that tag and the Saints have the first right of refusal and the Saints refuse, whoever he's trying to get got to come up off 2 first-round draft picks to get a Sean Payton and the Saints just to sign Marcus Williams. Pretty much what the Saints did is they knew Marcus Williams was going into free agency. Pretty much what they did was they poisoned the well water so nobody go and get, drink from where he's at, because they'll probably maybe 1 or 2 people will talk to him, but he hired an agent this past season, hired one so he can get the 13, 14 million a season. That's what he's shooting for, to get up there with guys like Kevin Bayard and Eddie Johnson from the Chicago Bears and guys like that. The guys making $14 million a year as a safety in the league. Marcus wants that dough. Now with the franchise tag, and it's probably going to be a non-exclusive variety, very few teams are going to touch Marcus Williams to give him 13 or 14 million, which locks the Saints in between that 10.5, 11.5, or whatever it's going to be at the end of the day. The only question I have with this maneuver is very shrewd, because if you want Marcus Williams, and they do, obviously I don't, but they do, then you would rather pay 10.5 or 11.5 for Marcus Williams as opposed to pay 13 or 14 a season for Marcus Williams. You see? And if a team wants him that bad, to say, nah, we want him 13, 14 million, you can have him, but you're going to come off them 2 first-round picks for consecutive years. Nobody's going to take that type of nobody's going to give it that kind of compensation, 2 first-round draft picks for a second-round safety who plays 60 games who is not a Pro Bowler. They're not going to come up there. I wish they would, to be honest with you, but I don't think they're stupid enough general managers to give up 2 first-round draft picks to sign Marcus Williams away. We'll see. They got a lot of stupid GMs in the league now. But, it wouldn't be feasible in my sense to be able to decide to try to sign them away off that franchise tag. So 2 things, like I said, and this will be my analysis on it. 2 things here. The Saints wanted them. They put the franchise tag, which was between 10.5 and 11, depending on where the numbers fall eventually. Saints rather pay him 10 or 11 versus 13 or 14 in the open market. If somebody wants him, then they will have to come up, sign him. Saints refuse. They got to give up 2 first-round draft picks in consecutive years. And people not going to touch him at that rate. And then, of course, the next thing is, does that piss off Marcus Williams? Because nobody likes to be franchise tagged. They're basically forcing him to negotiate with them at their cost. So does he get pissed off about that? I don't know. He seems like a lighthearted dude. I don't think he get pissed off about that, but I know he wanted top dollar. And doing it this way just kind of forces him to remain on the team at the rate the Saints are willing to play. Now, he don't have to sign the franchise tag now. He don't have to do it. he can choose not to sign. He doesn't have to sign the tag if he don't agree with the price. But eventually, it does buy enough time for the Saints to get him under contract. But he can, the Saints control the whole damn dynamic. Now, they feeling this, whether they like him or not. If he walks, he was unrestricted, he would have walked for nothing. If you tag him, it's possible you get picks for him if the contract too high for whoever really want him that bad, or you get him at the price that you want him at. Very shrewd move by Loomis and Payton. Very shrewd. Very shrewd. The only issue is now Mickey Loomis has to be able to do something about that $50 million damn dollars that you got to come up off to be able to make it work. And you got to get this done by the 17th. So this is my 2 cents to throw in there, fan. That's why I'm bringing in the breakdowns of these franchise tags, because sometimes we forget. I forgot they had 2 different ones. I had to go back and research and look up under the CBA and do all my research and find this kind of stuff up. Now, to go into the history of the franchise tag in the New Orleans Saints, this is from Saints Wire. He did a pretty good one on it. He said the Saints have dusted off the franchise tag very often, but they just did just that on Tuesday by issuing it to Marcus Williams, one of the top pending free agents. This move buys them some time to work out a long-term contract extension and prevents Williams from testing the open market. But the 10.5 or so brick it throws into the salary cap accounting is a tough patch over. Still, they aren't strangers to working around the franchise tag. The Saints have used the opportunity to continue negotiating an extension each time they have applied the tag before. There's a quick rundown of the previous Saints players to be tagged since Loomis and Payton took over the team. Now, if you go back to 2017, there's Charles Grant. The Saints did that with him. Grant was the first player to receive the franchise tag when way back when, coming off a 6-sack season in which he forced 3 fumbles, recovering 2 of them. He briefly held out the team workouts until he reached the deal. It was a 7-year, $63 million deal. And he just fell apart after that. I ain't gonna lie. Once they gave him the money, he just went to hell in a handbasket. But he was a player on decline at that point. Grant only lasted 3 more years in New Orleans, never logging more than 5.5 sacks in the season, and ended the 2009 campaign on the injury reserve. Never played another down. He did go out a Super Bowl champion, though. Next behind it, 2012, the mighty Drew Brees. This was a contentious situation. It was the second time Brees had received the franchise tag, but the first time he'd been issued it by the Saints. Now, a point of debate, he and the team went to arbitration over to decide how much he would be paid, whether the Saints would be able to use it again. Now, Brees won the ruling, and eventually he signed that 5-year, $100 million extension. Remember that? That some NFL analyst was acting a fool about, but think about it now. It's commonplace now, right? Now consider today's top paid quarterback, Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes boys. 2014, Jimmy Graham's franchise tag. That's the one I really remember the most. This is where things got really messy. The Saints again went to the arbitration to decide how much the tag was valued. Remember, Jimmy Graham's perspective was he should get paid not like a tight end, but like a wide receiver, because he and his agent and people was showing that he was not being used at the tight end or lined up like a tight end, that he was being lined up like a wide receiver. So he was saying that instead of getting tight end money, which was significantly lower than the wide receiver, he was trying to say that he deserved wide receiver cake. Remember that? We was all on looking at that. That was something. Payton was on the stand to clarify exactly which position Graham played. He splintered the relationship between the team's star pass catcher and his head coach, and it doesn't look like the wound has ever really healed. In the end, Graham agreed to a 4-year deal worth $40 million, but he was traded just 7 months later in a blockbuster deal with the Seahawks. And remember, that brought in Max Unger and the first-round draft pick that ultimately became Stephon Anthony, who was drafted out of Clemson. He was the linebacker who, in his first season as a linebacker, starting linebacker in the Saints defense, he broke Ricky Jackson's rookie tackle record. That's how good he was when he first came in. Then the Saints changed the defense. They started moving people around. They just totally destroyed his confidence or whatever he had. Because you don't go from breaking Ricky Jackson's anything to being a special team linebacker. What the hell? But whatever. 2021, Marcus Williams. Now this year, franchise tag sat on the shelf, collecting dust for years until Saints unexpectedly broke it out minutes before the 2021 window slammed shut. And they had a great reason to do it. Williams on the cusp of free agency. Now they have time to work out a long-term deal with Williams, just like they once did with Grant, Breeze, and Graham. Following a well-established trend, hopefully Williams gets to see his contract through till its end. So that's a brief history of just to let the family members know, man, it was good to take that little trip down memory lane, wasn't it? That was pretty good. But anyway, let's go over it again. Once again, let's go back over all the news that we've covered thus far in the show. Saints continue to continue contract restructures as they restructured Andrus Peat and Malcolm Jenkins. Contract today freeing up $9.5 million. We covered that in early on. We also talk about the fact that the NFL set the salary cap at 182.5 and that the Saints need to get busy and chopping, busier. We also revealed that the New Orleans Saints was awarded 3 compensatory picks in the 2021 NFL draft. Saints were added 2 picks in the third and 1 in the sixth. And remember, they got 1 pick for Teddy Bridgewater leaving the Carolina last year, and they got 1 pick in the third. 1 in the third for Teddy, 1 in the third for Terry, 1, and then the 6th round draft pick in for AJ Klein that ended up going to Buffalo. So you have 3 picks added to your rest of them. So those 2/3 really help the Saints, to be honest with your family. It really does. Then, of course, the next article was the releasing of Emmanuel Sanders and the coming soon releasing of Quan Alexander. We covered that as well. As Sanders releasing frees up, some money, and hopefully they're saying between Sanders and once Quan Alexander's release becomes official, it'll save roughly about $19 million in cap money. Then, of course, we covered the article, Saints place franchise tag on safety Marcus Williams. We covered that. We'll go through the breakdown. To me, it's irresponsible to do that because you're so far in the red. But then again, this is something the Saints always do. It's nothing new. They always do this type of stuff. It's become commonplace of the kicking in the can mentality to add 10 on top of you had it to 40, and you had 10 on top of that to push you back up to 50, and you got to the 17. We're going to see what happens. There's only so many contracts and so much stuff you can restructure. And of course, we had the brief history of the Saints franchise tag. And of course, we did go and do some research and to break down and break down to the family members exactly what the franchise tag for those who are unclear. For those who are clear, this is for those who are unclear, or perhaps a refresher to the family members who might have forgot about 2 different tags that fall tagging or tenders that fall underneath the franchise tag title. You got non-exclusive and exclusive. Non-exclusive means that you have the right, you're given the ability to be able to negotiate with another team. And then, of course, the team that you're currently a part of has the ability to have the right of refusal. Now, if the other team signs you, the team that's signing the player will have to then compensate the team that has the tag with 2 first-round draft picks. There is no other. I did my research on it, went back and looked it up at several different sources. I went all in the CBA. I went all on the NFL rule book looking for it, looking at the CBA. You can't negotiate the picks and say, okay, can I give you a second? I don't want to give up the first. No, the rule says in the CBA that if a player signs a guy away on a franchise tag, on a non-exclusive franchise tag, they owe him, the team that he's coming from, 2 first-round draft picks, which is, like I said, it poisons the water, and nobody's going to go, or very few teams, if any, who really was interested in him is going to approach him now that he has a tag. It keeps him to 10 or 11 or whatever it is. The only question is he disgruntled by that? As you've seen the previous stuff, what happened to Jimmy Graham, it destroyed his trust for Sean Payton. He ultimately ended up getting traded. Drew Brees didn't like it. It didn't get nasty. They was able to work it out between the both of them. It did, Charles Grant, he was a flop out the door. So it's a mixed bag in the reaction according to, Saint lore or Saint history. Now, if you go and look at other around the NFL with the Le'Veon Bell, it all plays differently depending on where you're coming from. So it's only a matter of time to see if that will work out. But obviously, if I'm tagging you at 10, I'm not going to pay you 13 to 14 million. Does he then say, I'm not signing that tag? Now, if he says I'm not signing that tag, he will have his only option that he has to sit out. He says, no, I'm not going to do it. And he will have to sit out. Now, that don't become official, him signing the tag, until I think it's way in July sometimes. I think it is until the deadline on players who are on the franchise tag have to sign the tag or sit out. I think it's somewhere in July if I got my date right. If I didn't, correct me in the chat, family. And of course, the other one is the exclusive franchise tag, which you can't talk to nobody. We got you. You ain't going nowhere. So something like what the Cowboys did with Dak Prescott a year ago and the year before that. The exclusive tag. You can't negotiate with anybody. And then, of course, there's the transition tag. And you know what that is that the transition destination is for a 1-year tender that offers the average 10 salaries at the position as opposed to the top 5 for the franchise tag. It guaranteed the original club the right of first refusal to match any other player might receive in another club. The tagging team is awarded no compensation now if he chooses not to match the deal. Basically the transition tag is I'm going to tag you because I want you, but I'm going to let the market stipulate what I'm going to pay for you. I'm not afraid to let the market, do what it's got to do with you. Now, the thing is, the Saints could have tagged Jameis Winston. They could also have tagged Trey Hendrickson. Why didn't they? Because they know that the tag for the quarterback position and for the defensive line, the defensive end position is ridiculously higher than what they know his market value going to be. Let's say Trey Hendrickson on the market is $10 million a season, right? Well, the tag for the defensive end position is like north of $14.8 million. So why would I tag him at 14 when why would I tag him there when the market value is higher than the actual tag? They only employ that when it's in reverse. You got me? So that's pretty much what it is, family. I just want to enlighten the family members on that tag stuff because it's a part of when we start talking about tagging players, we need to be accurate in our definitions of breaking down exactly what this stuff means so we don't be sitting there looking like a bunch of chumps. We don't start thinking and looking over and believing like everybody else believing because of me. No, I like to take stuff and turn around and go look at some shit and see if it works right and if it means the same thing. That's part of being a critical thinker. So with that being said, that's all of the stuff, fam, that we breaking down. And at this point, I like to say who that to the Black and Gold family members in this thing. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you being here as well. Please strike upon the like button. We got that done pretty good, didn't we, family? March right on through that and got that done right at 60 minutes. Now, for the summation of the next hour, maybe, little less than an hour, if you guys have any questions or concerns or comments, please pop them in the chat. Bobby Walker says 6-year, $56 million will make you keep Marcus Williams. 6 years, $56 million. Wow. That's a lot of bread, man. I'm just not a Marcus Williams dude, man. I'm sorry. I studied Marcus Williams on film, and I think that this year, if you're going to make the jump, define yourself for safety, my goodness, this year will be the year. There are a lot of terrific, hard-hitting, ball-hawking safeties that's in the draft. Big ups. All right. Let me see. Let me go over. Let me get to the point because I asked the family members how much money do they think they're going to have after Mickey Loomis clears the $50 million. So how much do you guys think? Did you put Carlton says 12? JT says $1. Revolt says 0. All right. 100,000 says Seabrook Fish and Sinkers. Thank you, fam. 9 million says Lori. Okay, thank you, Lori. Dada says 15 million. Tramal says 0. What's up, Philanthrodox? It says 12 million. Who else we got? 90 million. Madge says 90 million. Pelicans Nola says 16. Joseph Johnson says 15. Sai, what's up, Sai? What is that? That's like, what is that? 3 cents? They're going to have 3 cents. Oh, man, bro, I'm telling you. All right, what's that? Devin says $5. Who that to you, Devin? Big ups, fam. NOG Supremacists, we need to clear 75 million, but we will probably get to 10 million. All right, thank you, fam. Good numbers, man. Very funny numbers, too, by the way. Very funny numbers. All right, Tragic says once they reach a long-term deal, the cap hit to Williams will be no more than 4 million. Yeah, that's true. Once they reach a long-term deal. But, do that happen, though? This is an effed up way to kind of get him because he wants 13 or 14, but, we'll see how it shakes, man, because sometimes when you franchise tag a person, that's not a compliment. You basically stopping them from getting the money that they want. Does he take that personal? I mean, that's my question. Hopefully he doesn't, but for the Saints, it makes all the sense in the world if you want the guy at 10 or 11 versus 13 or 14. So, if Sean Payton want him, 10, 11, I guess is fine. But, me, like I said, I don't want, I wouldn't have did it. I wouldn't have let his ass go. I wouldn't have got it, but, shit, whatever. Sad Sky says Williams 10.5, too good right now. Okay. Yep. All right, Jerome, what's up? Jerome says he's going to Houston or Seahawks. Watch it. All right. What's up, Don Juan? Don Juan Fontaine in the building. What's up, fam? Torres says, I hope somehow we restructure his contract some kind of way, but I think it's guaranteed money he's getting this year. Dada says, Saints remember when they gave up on Malcolm Jenkins too soon. We went on to Philly. He had an awesome career. Peyton is not taking that same route with Marcus, man. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. Donald says, I want to tag T-Rex until I found out the tag for defensive end would have been 19 million. I think it was like 14.8 or something like that. It was north of 14.8 millions, which it wouldn't have made sense to tag him. So you're absolutely right, bro. All right, Lori says, we can draft the safety. He isn't that good. I know, Lori. That's what I've been saying. I agree with you wholeheartedly. He's not that good to pay him $10 million a year, but some people say, Q, he is that good. How is he that good? He can't tackle. Do we not know that he's a football player that can't tackle, that plays the last line of defense? Does that scare you a little bit? None? No scare? No fear? Shit. That scares the hell out of me to have a safety back there that can't tackle. I'm just going to keep it honest. I mean, the man can't tackle, Q. I know, brother. I know. I've been saying that. For a while. He can't tackle. The man can't tackle, Q. That's what they tell me. And I said, I know, fam. I've been saying that. Look at the tape. Takes poor angles. And then the question I asked the family members was like, how if Marcus Williams has been a starter for the Saints secondary for over 60 games. When he came out of Utah, the University of Utah, with the second round draft pick 4 years ago, he started 60 games for the Saints. And truth be told, with all that consistency, all of that, he had stable, absolute stability. Aaron Glenn was the coach when he got here, when they drafted him. He had Aaron Glenn for 4 years. They didn't change a damn thing about that secondary. Dennis Allen, Aaron Glenn, there was total consistency there. Meaning they didn't change too much. If they did change, they didn't change it too much or too fast or too bad. You got me? They didn't like the Saints went into playing a 4-3 went to learn how to play the 3-4 defense. But he never was able to produce a Pro Bowl. And I said to myself, man, last year, he looked like he was in his second year. He was getting turned around. He was misreading plays on the back end. This was prior to the Tampa Bay game when Jenkins had to drop down and cover the tight end. See, I remember all this shit. While I'm saying it to you, it's playing in my head, and I'm watching it in my head while I'm explaining it to you. It was times that you could see Marcus Williams in the game misreading plays, coming down to make plays on wide receivers and leaving the top open for the guy up top catching touchdowns. Malcolm Jenkins had to play the tight end position, and they left him back there, and they were going over the top of his head. He was taking poorish routes and angles to make tackles. It was not a good thing. Then when Jenkins, the Saints altered, when they got Quan and they moved Jenkins back off the tight end to the safety position, then he stayed back there with Marcus Williams, and you start seeing the growth because he was back there instructing Marcus Williams on what to do. But prior to that, he was looking like he was in his second year. He was getting turned around like he was on a rotisserie stick. That's what I said. He was. Look at the goddamn film. But, let's see, man. My personal feelings is they like him a lot. And I really do think they just don't want to deal with the turnover at the position. They won't try to keep the secondary intact as much as they can. But we'll see how it shakes, man. We got a new special teams coach, so we'll see exactly what it was. We'll see. Yeah, you're right. You're right, NOG said once they corrected the miscues, we were golden. Yeah, the miscues was Malcolm Jenkins was back there telling them what to do. How ironic it is. Think about it for a second. You was on the rotisserie stick as a safety back there, giving up the deep ball, taking bad routes, and then Malcolm Jenkins gets back there with you, and then all of it stops. What does that tell you? You were getting instruction, but he picked it up on the back end. But my point is, you shouldn't have looked that bad for a safety that's been here for 4 years in the same system is what I'm trying to get the family members to see. Check. So, maybe the game plan got a little stale for Marcus. Maybe it did. Maybe he just wasn't buying into what Aaron Glenn was selling. It happens from time to time. But perhaps Chris Richard can get the most out of Marcus Williams. I'm hoping he is, especially if you're going to commit at least 3 to 4 years to the brother. And let's hopefully. So Chris Richard comes in. Maybe he helps Marcus Williams tackle better. Maybe he helps Marcus Williams see what he's seeing better. Maybe we can do that because things are going to change a bit with Chris Richard back there. So just no more of them goddamn San Francisco plays or even the Detroit Lion play of last year when Marcus Williams tried to tackle AP, Adrian Peterson up high, and Adrian Peterson just mushed his ass out of the way. What you doing? You remember that? Goodness gracious. I won't keep it going, though. However, if the Saints aren't blowing up the roster, I think it's time to keep whatever core players you can and time to move on. Hey, $50 million, bro. It's not, it's a huge gamble. We're going to see how it works, though, man. Brandarius, what's up, Brandarius? Says, I agree. Williams tackles with his head down. What player does that? That is a major, awful, horrible, garbage, shitty, silver can, trash can ass thinking that a last line of defense safety put his damn head down to make a tackle. I don't know where that comes from. I'm just going to keep it real. That's ridiculous. You put your head down to make, where does that is totally all wrong. You're a professional tackling like that, for God's sakes. The rotisserie boys. Marcus Williams and PJ Williams, the rotisserie boys. You go to any grocery store. I'm going to give y'all some hints. Y'all don't have to pay no tickets. You go to any grocery store, you go to where they sell a hot food at. It's usually in the deli section. You walk through the fruits and then you get to where you see some hungry contractor standing up there trying to give them a hot plate. And then you turn off to the left or the right. It's usually to the left of where it is. And you'll see the rotisserie machine and they got 2 big chickens spinning on a rotisserie rack in slow motion. Well, the top one is PJ Williams and the bottom one is Marcus Williams. The rotisserie boys. Spinning on a rotisserie rack. Oh, man. What's up, PJ? I'm just chilling, just getting a tan. Oh, man. All right. Cap Manning, what's up, fans? It's probably because he playing damn nearly 20 yards off the line of scrimmage on every play. Darren, what's up, fam? Say he did show something when he put that hit on Calvin Ridley. Yes, that was a very nice hit. Would love to see more of that, though. I need to see more of that. That was a hit. I remember the Calvin Ridley hit. That is true. So I would love to see more of that type of stuff. Trey Joe says Ian Rappaport said that talks of releasing Alexander and not restructuring, which would be a dumb decision. Now, they could release him, bro. They could release him and then sign him back to a cheaper, more team-friendly deal. That's also something that's not out of the cards either. So remember, we talked about that as well, about the fact that they wasn't going to keep him on it. It was a gamble anyway. They gave up a 5th-round draft pick to land him and Kiko Alonso to get from under that deal. And ultimately, it was a Super Bowl, a bust move. We knew that they weren't going to pay the $13 million for Quan Alexander. We ultimately realized that when the Saints released him, when he had that injury, this could be a blessing in disguise for the Saints because he found that he was a good match with the Saints defense and that he wants to come back, but the Saints are not going to keep him at that rate. So they could release him and then sign him back at a cheaper deal if that's in the cards, if that's what he want to do. Something more team friendly, and that's not actually a bad idea. Sad Scott says Chris Richard can't fix that, man. Oh, we all see, bro. You never know, Sad Scott. You might be able to fix him, bro. Trey Joe said, put on the bright side. We do have 3. That's right. We do, Trey. We got 3 third-round picks. You got 2. You got 2. Well, do you have 3? Yeah, that's right. You do have 3. You're right, brother. You got 3. The reason why I had to stop myself and say, no, you don't, is because I think Goodell going to take one of them. It might be the 3rd. It might be the 6th. They're going to come up in here and take a pick off of us. I don't know what it's going to be. Hopefully it don't be, hopefully it don't be one of our 3rds. Maybe they take a 6. They took a 7 from you. Remember when all that stuff happened before? Hopefully it don't be nothing higher than that 6th round selection. They might take that from you. So that's still yet the shoe to drop, and we'll see. But we expect that to happen before the draft. So Goodell definitely going to take something from you. How many or what it's going to be? Man, I can't tell you, fam. So that's why I keep in my head thinking that we don't have but 2 of them, because I'm thinking in my head, the worst case scenario is that Goodell takes one of those 3rd round picks. That'd be sad. Hopefully just take the 6 or whatever it's going to be. Goodell, All right. Donald says, how much salary would T-Rex need to get from under another team to get a 3rd round comp? He said, Donald McKidd said, how much salary would T-Rex need to get from another team to get a 3rd comp pick? I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up, Don. That's a good question, though. Sad Scott says you learn how to tackle in elementary school. Who was his coach? I think his math teacher taught him how to tackle. Jamal says the William Rotisserie Boys. The Rotisserie Boys. Latasha, what's up, baby? Said T-Rex gone. I think maybe looking for a Taysom Hill kind of salary. Yeah, at least north of $10 million a season. That's what I'm hearing on word on the street. All right, Javier, I believe in Mickey and Coach to get the juices flowing again. Hopefully, I'm with you on that, Javier. But let's get it going, man. William Dickinson, that's some burnt rotisserie chicken. I don't know, bro. They called it blackened rotisserie. That's what they call it. They said that fish look a little charred. That's not charred. That's blackened. And that's why people give me some blackened fish. You mean the little charred fish? Yeah, nah. Blackened. You know what I'm saying? My Creole people, you know what I'm talking about. You know the fish. You know the fish. You come with the little char on it. It's not charred. They said blackened. It's really a little burnt on the edges. A Pelican knows said, BQ, that's the kind of player who's sitting on the couch like me. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Sad Scott says safety from Utah. Not from Orlando, not from Ohio State, not from LSU, not from even Alabama, but yes, sir, from Utah. They went and found him. They went and found that man. All right, Donald said they have cut Emmanuel Sanders and Quan Alexander. They cut Emmanuel Sanders. They have yet to cut Quan Alexander. They're still working on that. From what I was getting off the street was the fact that they can't cut him while he's still hurt. But whether they can designate him a June 1st cut is something altogether that I have to research even further. So that might be the case. We'll see. It'll reveal itself a little further on. All right. Latasha said, let's not forget 1 point. Ken Crawley, Marcus Williams, and PJ Williams were all starting in the secondary. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, Tasha. I'm going to tell you that right there. Yeah, Ken Crawley before you walk in, Marcus Williams. I'm going to tell you, boy, that's a depressing group of people. Hayabusa says, cut P-Rob. I'm with you on that. It will save you about a couple million if you got rid of him. Brandon, who that to you? Aaron Campos, who that to you? Says Chauncey Gardner-Johnson going to be a dog in the secondary. That's who we need to keep. Yeah, he definitely there. Ramsey says Miss Benson tackles better than. Oh, that's messed up. Jerry says, all right, I'm here officially wrapped up with Bible study. All right, appreciate you. All right, thank you, Brother Jerry. William Dickinson says Saints got a 1st, 2nd, 2/3, 4th, and the 6th this year. Thank you, William, for that. Todd, what's up, Todd? He says extra crispy. All right. Trey says right on point, Q, them dirty dogs. Gonna take one of them 3rds. The Saints can't get too powerful. And see, bro, the crazy part about it is, even though, Goodell's a chump and a scumbag to me, y'all know I don't keep that no secret. I always slam dance him. But the reality is if we didn't give him ammunition to shoot at us, there wouldn't be that issue. Meaning that if you got a player, and I don't care who it is, family, and you agree before the season started on the CBA and the rules that they're set before they even get on the field, if you agree by those rules, whether you like it or not, you have to abide by the rule. You got to. Now, the reason why I say that is because if you then go and disrespect the rule or don't follow the rule and the NFL come down on you, that's not on Goodell, that's on you. And Coach Payton could have done something. He could have said, Kamara, you're going to sit your ass down until you do this, that, and the third. He could have did him that. But the whole season, they had a spy in the building, baby. The Saints would never tell on themselves like that. The NFL got spies in the building, baby. That's how they found this out. How you found this out, and then it came out right after the end of the Saints' loss there. Shortly thereafter, a few days, that dropped about them knowing about that. How they knew that fast? They had a spy in the building that was telling them. They already knew. They already knew, and they were waiting to drop it on your ass. And like I said, if you got a guy that don't like you, and he's standing there with an empty gun, don't go and give him bullets to gun your ass, your goof ass down. That's all I'm saying. And we did that to ourselves, and we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot. Another thing to watch out for that's coming soon too is his misreporting of these injury reports. I've been telling y'all this for years. The constant misreporting of these injury reports that he's doing, the falsifying of these injury reports and all this old other stuff that he's been doing, that's another shoe to drop coming soon. Watch and see. They already know what's going on. And we can't really be mad at that trash time garbage ass Goodell. But the reality is the Saints are doing this to themselves, man. If you agree to the rule, then you got to follow the rule. If you don't want to do it, then go sit down somewhere. You got a choice. You don't have to take that money. You don't have to take it. Go sit down. If you stand on your laurels, stand on your morals. Do not go and take that money, or don't go and do that if you don't believe in that. Leave it alone and go do something else. But if you say I'm going to do it and you don't do it, they got you, baby. They got you. So I don't know what the punishment going to be, but I understand that the punishment is going to be pretty heavy because the NFL already took a 7th-round draft pick off the Saints because of another violation. So 2 violations like this is going to be a heavy-handed fine and draft picks. Now, how high they go is you guess. You guess, because it's not been done before. So like I said, that's on them. Oh, Tasha, you a laugh and a half, girl. She said, I'm pregnant and I tackle better than Williams. I told you, Q, I'm going to show him in about 4 more months. Ah, girl, you crazy. All right, Brandon says it's too early to extend Chauncey. Yes, it is. Well, I mean, you can give a contract extension to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You don't have to wait till his contract expires. He's been in the field for a couple of years now. You could offer him an extension. You can do that, but will they be proactive enough to do that? I would probably say no. Seth, who that to you? Seth says, since we keeping Marcus, we better release Crawley, Robertson, and PJ. PJ is already a free agent. So is Ken Crawley. Patrick Robertson is still on the team on the hook. And I'm thinking probably real soon you're going to see Patrick Robertson get cut. I don't know why you're going to keep Patrick Robertson. Year after year, all he does is have hamstring injuries. And like Bruce Lee says, hamstring injuries are a result. You're not drinking enough water and you're not stretching properly. That's why you keep having hamstring issues. You can't run for 2 or 3 hours and stretch for 15 minutes. That don't make sense. You got to be able to give the proper amount of time to stretch to stop from those hamstring injuries to occur. Plus, he's at advanced age and they can do a lot better on the open market for a cheap veteran. Let's just get rid of Patrick Robertson, can we? Shall we? Could we? Please? Let's just get him on up out of here. He was a bad investment anyway. He had some positive moments in the interim last year, but overall, he cannot be counted on. He had a pretty good game where he had that interception, played really well, but that was far and few in between, man. Way far in, but that was just a bad transaction to bring him back here. Really bad. All right, let's keep it going here. Bobby says, what's up, Bobby? Says, hold on. Bobby says, I think Quine come back and Anzalone. Really, I think Quine come back and Anzalone, Malcolm Brown, Sheldon Rankins, T-Rex, and P-Rob are gone as well. Okay, he says, I think Quine's back and all those other guys are gone. Well, that could be true, bro. I've heard reports that the Saints want Quine Alexander back, but at a rate that's affordable for the team, which probably be a good thing for Quine because it'll be a 1-year cheap prove-it deal to see if he can stay healthy. I think it'll be a win-win for both teams. Scott says, Spies. Latasha says, I think these players be ready to get out of the playoffs. They don't play with heart. You got a point on that, especially that ugly Tin Man. He was ridiculous, man. He didn't play with a liquor heart in the playoffs, man. He didn't play with a liquor heart. Will Dickerson, what's up, fam? Said, Big Q, I know Jonnu Smith won a lot of money, but would you pick him up? Jonnu Smith, yeah, the tight end used to play for the Titans. He's not a bad pickup, but You know, you got interest. It's not bad, man. You know, he's not a bad tight end. We'll see where it all falls, bro, because I'm still of the mind that I would like to see Josh Hill come back on a cheaper deal. You know what I'm saying? That could be something that the Saints they've done this before, where Josh Hill could come back on a cheaper deal to help out the team, you know? Like some of these players they released, they're telling them, listen, we're going to release you now. And it's not official, mind you, but I can understand this happening because a guy like Josh Hill, Sean Payton likes a lot. And he could say, listen, I'm just going to cut you right now and then we'll bring you back on a more affordable contract. So I like Josh Hill. Jonnu Smith's going to cost you a little something because he's a young tight end that got a lot of potential. And I think, you know, and then I really want the Saints to have two really good tight ends. Adam Troutman and another veteran. People telling me, Q, how about Rudolph? Q, how about this guy? How about that guy? Wouldn't be that guy, Joan, it wouldn't be a bad pickup for the Saints, to be honest with you. But we most certainly need another young veteran or a veteran that can come in that's athletic, who can block similar to what a Josh Hill. Like I said, that wouldn't be a bad pickup. We just have to make sure the money works. You know, a cheap veteran here or there, we'll see. But it wouldn't. Jonnu Smith wouldn't be a bad pickup. Thank you, Will. Latasha, I honestly like Roger Goodell. They gave him too much crap when he's listening. King Creole the First says NFL always had spies in the building starting in 09. That's right. Think about Real Deal Holyfield by King Creole the First. Yes, sir. Who told him about that stuff going on, right? About what's happening with the bounty up, all that stuff. And then the cold-blooded part about it is the NFL didn't really have no real evidence. And then years later, they had to apologize to the Saints for and retract that stuff, but they never gave the Saints any money. They never gave the Saints any draft compensation. And still to this day, people still thinking the Saints was guilty of something that they had nothing to do with. The NFL apologized to the Saints. They apologized for the Saints. They had no evidence, but the NFL did not compensate the Saints with draft picks for destroying 2-3 years of the NFL team. It took the Saints went down for 3 years when that happened after that Super Bowl. It took us 3 years. We went 7-9, 3 straight seasons until we were able to salvage ourselves again. The NFL destroyed this team for 3 years. What they did, took the coach away, took the assistant coach away, took the defensive coordinator away, took picks away, penalized you with money. They destroyed the team for 3 years. It took 3 years for the Saints to get up off that ass after the NFL put her down with that bull. Then years later, they apologized and didn't compensate you at all. You know, it was terrible. But you're right, King Creole the First. Thank you. Tragic says, when the Saints drafted Rankins, I wanted them to draft Shaq Lawson. Yep. Sheldon Rankins, yep. Who that King? Who that King? Big ups to you. Trey says, why is the Dollar Tree Quartet still employed by us? They're not employed by us. Justin Hardy is not under contract right now. He's a member of the Dollar Tree Quartet. Ken Crawley's not under contract right now. Neither is PJ Williams. So Patrick Robinson is the only member of the Dollar Tree Quartet that is currently employed by the New Orleans Saints. And I'm thinking probably in the next 2 or 3 days, they're probably going to release him too. And of course, the fifth member, which is the backup member, just in case one of the quartet members gets sick to fill in for him, Johnson Batamosi, he is no longer on the team. So you only got really one quartet member that's hanging in tough. Oh, boy, that was so funny to drop the Dollar Tree Quartet. Oh, that was too funny. Too funny. Hayabusa says, time to turn the page on former Saints. We tried and failed. Try something new. Hey. What's up, Tess? Who that to you, Tess? Good to see you in the building. Much love to Tess. Much love. What's up, brother Dedrick? Who that? He says, Alex. He says, Anzalone ain't gone yet. Yeah, he's gone. He's a free agent, bro. So, yeah, he up out of here. So, rest assured, my friend Dedrick, that Alex Anzalone is not going to be, he's not no longer a member of the Black and Gold Saints. You know, they have to offer him a contract, which I don't see that. Sat Scott said, I'm rooting for Kuzo, Chiefs number 54. Okay, I remember you saying you came up with that, Damian Wilson. He said, come back home and get draped up and dripped out in black and gold. How about that? That'd be cool. All right, let's see what else we got there. Trey says, Mr. Tiptoe Tulips himself. Where y'all get all these funny nicknames from? Some bitch tiptoeing through the tulips. Oh, man, y'all are too funny, man. Y'all are too funny. Thank you, Dada. Appreciate you, bro, for the super chat. Dada says, real talk. Can you see the Saints taking the tight end Pitts if he falls to, oh, hell yeah, man. But I don't know if he falls that low, bro, to 28. They saying that brother going to be gone in the top 10. So if he falls to 28, ain't no doubt about it. You've got to grab him. You know, if he falls to 28, something wrong. But it could be like a Larry Tunzel type situation when they caught him smoking dope. They released it on the date of the draft. It was like, why he's dropping. Then they showed it that he was on there with the bone smoking and all that. Boy, that destroyed that man's draft. See, they got some cold-blooded chickens out here, bro. They got some cold-blooded chumps out here, man. But the great part about it is that Tunzel, despite that, what they did to him on draft day, he still got his money, baby. See, you try to hate on that man, and he still got that money. So let that be a lesson, man. Regardless, you're going to get some hate. If you're doing something right, you're going to get some jealous person that's unhappy with their life. They want to try to pass some of that unhappiness upon you. And seeing it's much more easy for you to take your unhappy ass somewhere and find a reason to be happy. I can give you a reason if you're unhappy. You're still freaking breathing right now. You know, you're still breathing right now. And as long as you're still breathing, guess what? You're in the game. So whatever's negative or that's making you upset or angry, guess what? You can find a solution to get it fixed. It's all a state of mind. It's all a state of mind. So, and you get the blessings of the Most High when you can take comfort or celebrate with people and their happiness and their positivity as well. And if people are hurting or in a bad state of mind, you get blessings from the Most High for pulling them up out of that state of mind. But they got so many people that don't believe in the Creator. And I'm like, I can't explain. You're too smart for me to explain. That's like Neil deGrasse Tyson. You start asking him about shit and he just start talking and talking. I'm like, man, I mean, seriously, man, put your critical thinking ears on for a second and listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson. When I listen to him, like a kid asked him about can another black hole swallow the black hole. Go look at that interview what he told that kid. And put your critical hat on while you listen to it. You know? So, I mean, I'm saying, man, you know, it's the simple stuff. The Most High won't make anything complicated, man. Why would he do that? He's not going to make something complicated where you can't understand it, like the stock market. He ain't going to put all this fanciful jargon up there that you got to go to school 4 years to understand what it is. Oh, he ain't into complication. He ain't into that. It's about simplicity, man, because he ain't trying to keep it from you. It's, you know, that universal energy is for you, man. You know, so that's why I'm buying into, I'm not a minimalist thinker, man. The whole universe is creating abundance for you. So the people that created that, they got 7 houses, 20 cars. They're telling you that, oh, you got to stop polluting. You got to cut down your footprint because you polluting. But the people out there that's telling you that, they got 7 houses, one on the coast, on the East Coast, West Coast. They got one in Africa. They live in Canada. They got 20 cars. They tearing up the place. They're telling you then you pollute too much, but don't forget to put the plant on the river. 20 plants all up along the river, dumping shit all in the river, but you doing more than they doing. But they telling you keep the environment. So get your ass out of here. Chump talk, man. Chump talk. But in the end, all I'm saying, man, is that, man, critical think this thing, man. Critical think this thing is necessary, man. Straight up. Straight up, man. We ain't chumps and suckers. All that $1 billion, trillion dollar miseducation and bad bullshit that you put to try to mesmerize the minds. You can't mesmerize the minds of things. You can't control the mind, our minds that you didn't make. It wasn't for you. It wasn't for you to manipulate and control from the beginning. And it was only a matter of time before we figured it out, baby. Now you're in trouble, baby. You're in trouble now. But anyway, I ain't gonna get too far up in there, man. That's for another show. Rose says Big Q Saints kept Pale Grant Haley. Do you think I like Pale Grant Haley, man. And I think Sat Scott, let me give a shout out to Sat Scott. I think Sat Scott was the dude that came up with that nickname. I cannot take credit for that. Now you can give me credit for Ken Crawley before you walk it. That was me. Peanut Butter and Jelly Williams. That was me. You know, and other, Matty Icy Hot, that was me. Ty Gurley, his name is his game. Fulio Jones was actually my dog. KT the Great. You know, Kai the Great, not KT the Southern gent, but Kai the Great was the one that came up with Fulio Jones. See, I remember some. But I think, but man, Pale Grant Haley was one of the, I got Sad Scott, salute to you on that. That was a funny nickname, man. You guys are hilarious, man. Pale Grant Haley was absolutely amazing. That was funny as hell, man. And it stuck instantaneously. So yeah, I like Pale Grant. He need a little bit more seasoning, but but not a bad pickup. He has potential. Thank you for that, William. Big ups to you. Tess says, we ain't getting Pitt, believe me. Yeah, he going to go inside the top 10, fam. I wouldn't be surprised if he go in the top 5. All right, Brandon says he'll probably go in the top 10 at best. Yep, no doubt about it. Thank you, Tosh. Move on from Taysom, says Brandon. We have yet to realize who your starting quarterback. That's the biggest thing of them all. Who is your starting quarterback, Saints people? Who is your quarterback? If an Atlanta Saint man asks you, who's your quarterback? What you gonna tell him? You gonna tell him, who's your quarterback? Jamie says, do you think the Saints get Tyrann Mathieu? I don't think so, Jamie. We just don't have the money for it. And us committing $10 million on the tag to Mr. Marcus Williams guarantees that we do not get Mr. Tyrann Mathieu, who I would like to get. But committing $10 million on the tag to Marcus Williams most certainly, at least for this year, means that that's a no on Tyrann Mathieu. Thank you, Jamie, for the question. Dedrick says, if we lose trade rankings, Malcolm Brown, we might have to make defensive line a priority. That is true, brother Dedrick, because if you remember, the Saints were doing virtual meetings with several interior linemen, and you're most certainly right, my brother. They could definitely look at that in one of the 2 picks. But truth be told, when it's all said and done, it's a number of places that we can go when it's all said and done. But still, the direction, where do we go with the direction of the quarterback position? Saints did sign Ty Montgomery back, who means he'll be the second best running back behind Alvin Kamara. You got Dwayne Washington back, which means Latavius Murray doesn't have a spot. You got Tony Jones Jr. on the practice squad. So Latavius Murray probably going to be a cut candidate as well, coming up in the next couple of days as well. I was expecting them to cut him the same time they cut Emmanuel Sanders, to be honest with you. No team is going to trade for Malcolm Brown, or if the compensation is right where they are, maybe. But why would I trade for Malcolm Brown or Latavius Murray when I know you got to get up off them players by March the 5th, between March the 5th and the 17th? If I know you're going to cut them already, why in the hell would I give you draft compensation? I know you got to come up off them. You $50 million in the hole. Maybe they got some chump general manager out there, but I know I said it about on the show. I said, man, listen, they're not gonna trade for that dude, bro. If they know he gonna come up, if you got to come up off, you $50 million in the hole. Latavius Murray, you got to get him up off of there. So I'll just wait until you cut him, and then I'll make a move on him then if I really wanted him. So we'll see, man. Like, a lot of this is it's not gonna work, but it's just, they're trying to get extra picks. What's up, VB Saints lady? Good to see you, VB Saints Pales lady. Let's get that together. Thank you for being here. Much love. JT says, we're doing good. Family 1 to 17 to check. Hit the 100 like. Thank you, brother. We got 70. So I appreciate y'all for hitting the like button. And I also thank all of the family members here for joining. Just, us having a good Saint talk, man. An enlightening, passionate Saint talk going on right now. And I appreciate y'all for being here, man. And just send out love to you guys. I appreciate you. I really do. Donald McKenzie, what's up, fam? Tragic says, even when you stop breathing, you're still in the game because energy can't be destroyed. Oh, yeah! That's what I'm talking about, Tragic. Tell him again, brother Tragic. Tell him again. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transferred. Go ahead, brother Tragic. Go ahead. Brother Tragic dropping dimes in the building. Brother Tragic dropping dimes in the building. What's up, brother Tragic? Dropping dimes in the building. Go ahead, brother. That got me bucked right there, all that energy right there. Big ups. All right. D's Nuts said, I agree, Donald. Latasha says, greater Saint Think Tank Missionary Baptist Church Reverend. Oh, man. We got a pastor in the building is Pastor Tragic at 504 and Pastor CT Crusher, Pastor Derek Allison. It's a bunch of them now. It's a bunch of them. Sad Scott, big ups. Donald says, Joe Horn's son at 28. It wouldn't be bad, bro. It's open books right now for that, man. Joe Horn, I don't know if his son makes it to 28. But, man, do the Saints stay there or do they trade back and acquire more draft picks? The Saints definitely obvious looking at trying to pick up more draft compensation. Do they trade out of the position? It's really kind of confusing now because it'll all start to make sense once we see who the Saints sign, like who the quarterback gonna be. You know, wide receiver could be a factor. You got rid of Emmanuel Sanders. Do the Saints then draft a wide receiver to a pair next to or to Mike Thomas, or do they keep Deontay Harris or go for Marquez? You see what I'm saying? Do they go that way with them? How about the defensive end position? The Saints need a defensive end to replace Trey Hendrickson. Well, we go there. People telling me linebacker, Q. If DeMario gets hurt, then what, Q? Point. Good point. I was saying, no, you don't take that guy because you're looking at Zach Bourne, and Bourne was taken with the 3rd pick, but Q, what if he gets hurt? That's true. Tulsa Collins, the dude from Tulsa, makes good sense. He's 6'4", 260. You can use him in 2 different ways. You can use him at linebacker, or you can put him on the defensive line to rush the passer. So do they go there? Cornerback is a good call too, bro, because if you go Chauncey, if you go Jackrabbit, Laddie Daddy, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, is really nothing after them. Patrick Robinson, I think he's going to be released. So it wouldn't hurt you to get a cornerback to groom at that position. You see what I'm saying? Because one of those guys are going to get hurt. Like last year, you seen Chauncey miss time. You seen Jackrabbit miss time. You seen Laddie Daddy miss time. You definitely need a cornerback there to brace for that inevitability. Plus, in the C19 led era, what if something happens? You need, I just think it's a good position to go for. So it wouldn't be a bad call for me. A lot of openings there. All right, Trey said we need Collins. I think we need, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I just said that. Fred Savage, who that says Mac Jones, quarterback out of Alabama. I hear you, bro. But let me ask you, Fred, who that to you? Do the Saints draft the quarterback? Because Mac Jones is they're now moving him up into the top 15, saying that 5 quarterbacks get drafted inside the top 15 this year. Go look at the latest mocks. Now, we know some of these guys be off point, but a lot of times the top 10 be lining up almost correct. Now, when they start getting outside the top 10, then you start seeing all kind of foolishness. But they're saying within the top 15, 20 picks of the draft, 5 quarterbacks come off the board. Mac Jones is going up into that top ratio as we get closer and closer. His stock is continuing to rise, not fall. So will he be available at 28? And if he is, do the Saints pull the trigger on him, knowing that the Saints don't draft quarterbacks with the 1st-round draft pick? Sean Payton in this era never took a 1st-round draft pick quarterback. The closest he came was, several seasons ago when he took, what was his name? Grayson. Remember Grayson? The quarterback out of, what was this kid came from? Where did Grayson come from? I forgot where he came from. Y'all feel it in the chat, but wherever he came from, he need to go back there and jump up under the damn place. Because he was horrible, and I think that scared Peyton off for ever taking a quarterback. That kid was terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. All right, big ups to the rest of the fam. Dollar say hit the like button. Thank you, Dollar. All right, what's up, Mules? Who that to you, Mules? Big ups to you. Good to see you in the chat, baby. Much love. Swag says, just like the currency of money, keep it flowing. There you go, baby. D said, LOL, that's small every time you read my name, fam. Love it. I mean, man, that's funny, man. You know, we used to say that in high school. You remember that was a skit from the NWA with Dr. Dre and them. When they asked a question, they said, these, So when I say that, it always brings me back to my high school days when I would, listen, not high school day, was it middle school? Whatever it was. They go back. That's what come up when I hear that. It's funny as hell, man. All right, thank you, brother Dot. He said, I bet $50 the Saints will not stay at number 28 in, he says, hold on. He said, I bet $50 the Saints will not stay at number 28 in round 1. Any takers? I wouldn't take, don't, go ahead and bet if you want to, but I think brother Dada might have something on that one. Thank you for the super chat, brother Dada. I think you're right on the money with that. The Saints looking for picks. They trying to trade veterans for picks. They looking for some picks, fam. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints trade back to acquire more picks anyway to move forward. If there's not a player there that blow their doors off. Usually that's what most teams do, that's position that far back in the draft is take the best available player. Saints trade back into the 2nd round and accrue multiple picks, maybe an extra 2nd or a 3rd round pick. That would be worth it, right? Depending on what we look like after free agency or, what have you, what it looks like. So thank you, Dada, for that. Thank you. Big ups to everybody. What's up, brother Abraham? Big ups to you. He says, why are the Saints don't cut all the sad people? Yeah, just cut. I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know, bro. It's this. PJ Williams should have been. I mean, Patrick Robinson should have been the first one cut if that was the case. Who's sadder than him? I mean, you cut Emmanuel Sanders, family. Think about that. You cut Emmanuel Sanders before you cut Patrick Robinson. Come on, get your priorities straight, Mickey. All right, Tasha says, how would you think? He says, how would you think about us getting Jared Patterson, the little running back in the third round? Patterson, is he the guy from North Carolina? Latasha, is that the same dude? Is he the guy from? Because there's two really good running backs from North Carolina that I like. Those two good behind Najee Harris from Alabama. In my opinion, they saying Najee Harris is the best back in the NFL. I mean, in the draft. I like Etienne. I like Travis Etienne. I think he kind of mirrors Alvin Kamara's style, a little bit more physical and fluid. And if the Saints were able to land oh my goodness, man, that'd be like two Kamaras out there. That'd be ridiculous. That'll be ridiculous. That's like back in the day having Deuce McAllister with Ricky Williams. You remember that? What that should have been? Oh my goodness, Deuce McAllister coming out of Ole Miss. And that was thin Deuce back in the day. That was thin Deuce tearing him up. Then Deuce had them injuries. He got heavy. But he was still a good running back, man. He just lost that speed. Tess, thank you, Tess. Appreciate you, says Big Q. Can we have Jabari Cox? Pretty clean. I like Jabari. I think he's a guy that's a tweener. He could play, look like he got the speed of a safety. I would love to put him like at that safety position. And he also could play that linebacker position. But really, you look at those linebackers like Devin White and Bush from Atlanta. These guys are just pretty much, they call them linebackers, but they're pretty much big physical safeties. These guys, they fast, they can cover the field. And that's the thing that Tez tore the Saints up in the playoff game. Devin White and Levante David, them dudes was covering so much space so fast, it was ridiculous. And that's what you want. You want linebackers to be able to cover a lot of space athletically and gifted to get from here to there, to close on, stuff like that. And that's what you want. So I wouldn't be against a super athletic linebacker who can play multiple, like if you can put him on the line for him to rush at times. Why the hell not? When you at 28th, you can gamble a little bit in terms of finding who's available. Because I still say the Saints, they're liable to take anybody with that pick. We don't know if they're gonna get rid of Teron Armstead. I'm saying, do you release Teron Armstead? I don't know if you could trade him, but do the Saints release Armstead? Do they restructure him? I'm saying the Saints might be releasing Armstead. Y'all be looking out for that. That's another heavy. They talking about Mike Thomas, but really Mike Thomas could save you a lot of money. But the dude right up under there is your boy Teron Armstead. Do the Saints release him? We got to look out for that. That's coming up soon too. So y'all keep an eye out from that. What's up, Nola Origin? He says Chase from LSU. I know, bro. I wish we can get him, man. Could you imagine Jamar Chase next to Mike Thomas? Could you imagine that? The Saints will have to go up and get him though, because I'm hearing stuff. He'll be going within the top 5. I'm hearing Miami Dolphins is looking at Chase to give 2 weapon. Man, could you imagine? If we can't get Chase, how about Terrace Marshall Jr.? How you feel about that, Nola Origin? I like Terrace Marshall Jr. That's a sleeper. DLP, what's up, my friend? He says DBs from Georgia are legit. Either guy would be good. I like this guy, Tyron from Washington. Thank you. Tasha says we need a wide receiver, MLM receiver, Traquan inconsistent. I hear you, baby. Elmo, what's up, fam? Says I'll be more excited after the draft to see the undrafted free agents. Yes, sir. You're right, Elmo. Absolutely, Elmo. You're 100% right on the money on that, because that's when the Saints really shine. We get the best and the brightest of the undrafted, fall between the crack players, man. We've been doing really well with that. You're absolutely right on that. Good call. All right. Abraham says we keep Alexander, restructure his contract. They're going to release Quan Alexander. They're going to release him, and then ultimately, I think in the end, they'll issue him a cheaper 1-year prove-it deal that's friendly to the team. And I think he does take that, man. He should take that. I like Quan. Hopefully, he can provide some versatility at the linebacker position, so we can perhaps go somewhere else with a draft pick. Who knows? Tragic say Colorado State, Grayson. Thank you, Tragic. Big ups to you. Yeah, isn't that who takes quarterbacks out of Colorado State? That is absolutely insane. Thank you, Aaron. All right. Thank you, Dada, for your super chat as well. Appreciate that, bro. DLP said Garrett Grayson was from Colorado. Oh, it jumped on me. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Once again, Tess, thank you for your chat as well. Thank all my family members with the super chats and the cash apps. Irvin says Pete sucks. Short and to the point, Pete sucks. All right, big ups to you. Donald says Sean wanted Patrick Mahomes, but didn't do a damn thing to go get him. If he said he was the best quarterback he had ever drafted, ever. If I was said, I would have did everything I can to go up there and get that guy. But not only did he not go and get him, he let the Kansas City take him and then pass on Deshaun Watson, the same guy that we want to go and draft for. So I mean, we creating problems. We creating pitfalls for our own selves when we do these foolish moves. Because 3-4 years ago, Drew Brees was still in his late 30s. I mean, at any time now you could have took a quarterback. We're not progressive thinkers, man. We're just not looking at this stuff realistically. And it's a shame because your opponents are, and sooner or later they're gonna have a young, strong team. You're gonna have an old ass team getting pushed down. You got to remain competitive in this league, man. You got to. All right, I'm gonna keep on going and I'm gonna keep moving. All right, but thank all of you guys for your tremendous super chats and cash apps. Thank you, family. I appreciate y'all. Ramsey says Trey Lance. James, what's up, James? I think Saints move up and grab Trey Lance. Peyton does his best to keep secondary, as is release PJ, P-Rob, second round linebacker, or with a wide receiver, whichever has the best player available, gets veteran corner or safety. Okay, damn, James got the game plan. All right, James, I hope it flows like that as seamlessly as you laid it out, man. That was a pretty good breakdown there. Thank you. All right, Seth says Cameron McGrone out of Michigan. Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of people. Jim Kev been sending me a lot of footage, and I've been studying a lot of tape, and I think it's going to get soon after I get through this free agency. I'm going to start getting into my draft prospects. I've been keeping my eye on certain people, but, I need to definitely do some more research on some more of these draft guys, family. So I thank y'all for putting some of these guys on my mind. Tess says, please don't cut Armstead. Thank you. What's up, Young Bloods? Appreciate you, bro. Says, what up, Big Q? What would you think of the Saints drafting Jabril from LSU at linebacker if he don't re-sign Quan? I actually love that, bro. Like I said, I think Jabril, he plays linebacker there, but he fits that mold like Bush or White, those guys that can cover a lot of field, very athletic, hard hitter, very intelligent, instinctive. I like the call. I like Jabril Cox, and a lot of people want to see that pairing, and I think he can be a really, really good player for the Saints, because remember, the Saints took Chase Hansen, the undrafted guy the Saints picked up? Well, Hansen was a safety in college. The Saints converted him to a linebacker. So Jabril Cox could be that in reverse. You play linebacker, you could convert him to safety. He's a guy that you can do both things. He's a really good tackler. He is a tremendous asset, brings the athleticism. You can use him in multiple ways there. And I like that. I think Jabril will be going in the second round. They're saying second, third, early third, somewhere in there. Saints have 3 first round or 2 first round, whatever the hell it is. I forget. Where we can make a move, perhaps a linebacker. I wouldn't be mad about that later on, probably early on. It's just so many things are changing, man, with the team. So we'll see how it shakes, man. We'll see after all these trades happen what we need to do. Donald says, no way you release Armstead. Trade, maybe. I don't know, bro. We'll see. Pete and Malcolm were restructured today. Thank you, Tess. That's true. We covered that. Speaking of corners, think Keith Walsh is going to do some shine this upcoming season. That's true, William. Think about the fact that in last year's training camp period, he had an interception every day, but he never seen the field not once, which is not good. I really wanted to see him on the field, at least get something, man. They practice squatted him an entire year. I didn't like that. Tragic says Saints should trade Armstead to the Cowboys or the Chiefs. If you can't restructure him, which is the option, you need to restructure, release, or trade, right? Is there a market for trade for Armstead? We'll see. But if they do trade Armstead, then you will have to do some gymnastics, like they say in the article, on the offensive line. You have to, in the Saints, maybe they don't. We'll see, because he's second next as far as the big money contracts that need to be restructured. So be looking out to see what the Saints do with him as well. Remember, they did put they put Morstead in the street. They put some veterans that been here for a while in the street. Why not Tyron? What makes him any different? If perhaps Drew's not here, why would they hold on to Tyron? If Drew leaves, Tyron leaves, right? We'll see. You only got 1 year left after this year. And if you're going to move him, why not move him this year? And get something for him. He'll be a year older next year. You know, he gets banged up every year. So, you know, it's still quiet. The home front is quiet on Terron Armstead. Very, very, very interesting to see exactly how they handle that. Tess says Jabril is instinctive and smart as hell. He is. And he'll knock your block off too. DLP said, I heard it's hard believing the Saints releasing Armstead. Left tackle is valuable. They have to be able to land picks for a starting left tackle. That is true. We'll see what happens, bro. We'll see. But they have to either restructure or trade. And I ain't gonna lie, it does look good if you try to trade him this year as opposed to next year to kind of get that money freed up. And we'll see. That's all we can do is see it. What do they do with him? Abraham says, what are we going to do with Marcus Williams? He says, what is going on with Marcus Williams? Marcus Williams, you know what? Yeah, they tagged him. So the Saints want him at the 10.5 or 11.5, whatever the tag is for the safety this year. They don't want to pay 13, 14 million for him. So they tag him for this year to get the price that they want. And of course, if another team comes along to try to sign Marcus Williams and they sign him away, the Saints then refuse the offer. And then the team who's trying to sign him, they have to give 2 first-round draft picks to the Saints. So that kills any real serious inquiry into Marcus Williams. Now, that's the truth, the facts. The facts also is, does he get pissed off by the fact that the Saints poisoned his well and pretty much preventing him from getting the 13, 14 million he does, that he wants? Do he gets pissed off about that? Because most people, they don't like when you tag them. Does this create something does it? It's just another question I'm asking, because these are after all people, right? These are all after all people. The man wanted 13, 14 on the open market. Saints franchise tagged him at 11.5, right? Or 10.5. If that's the case, then the Saints, man, he really did Marcus dirty, man. Boy, they did Marcus Williams dirty. Hey! James says Armstead 2020 first round pick, 2021 first round pick, and a third for either Deshaun or Russell Wilson. You think it's a good package that won't hurt us and help us. Armstead in any move to get Russell Wilson wouldn't be a bad decision. Of course, ultimately once you pay Ryan Ramczyk, you turn Ramczyk to the left tackle, then you have to fill the right tackle position, which I think it'll be Andrus Peat, in my opinion. That's just me. But, that's how you would then compensate for replacing the starting left tackle like Armstead, who's arguably right now the best offensive lineman you have. Not named Ryan Ramczyk, who's closing in on him quite rapidly, baby. So that's what it is. Okay, appreciate that, brother James. Let's see who else we got. All right, James said, I just want to know why Peyton not get really good players. He will. I think they just cash strapped right now. Thank you, brother Prom. Madge Prom, thank you, says Breeze Way will retire. Breeze Way will retire on the 18th. James is the man that will get us to the Super Bowl next year, 11-6. All right, thank you, brother Prom. Appreciate the super chat and the words in prophecy, brother. Thank you for that. All right, Donna says, how the hell you get rid of Armstead and bring in Wilson? I mean, he could be a part of a package. You know what I'm saying? If you trade picks and, you're going to have to make the salary match at a part. He does make, what is it, 16 million or something like that? He hitting you with, it could be a part of a package that you might be able to offer him if the Wilson thing is serious enough to happen. He could be a part of the package. But then how would you replace him? You replace him by moving Ramczyk from right tackle to left tackle. Remember, he was a first-round draft pick left tackle out of the University of Wisconsin. And who would you replace Ramczyk with? Well, Andrus Peat, in my opinion. Andrus Peat was a first-round draft pick out of Stanford. Who the Saints paid $50-something million for. And I told the people when they paid him, don't think that he's just going to stay at the right guard position. Eventually, Armstead retires or moves on. And do the Saints then draft an offensive lineman at tackle, or do they simply move Andrus Peat out there? Just something to think about. Just something to think about, family. Trey says he's only service, so why waste a franchise tag on him? Hey, Devin says Seattle going to want another player and probably another first-round pick. No way, just give up Wilson for one first. Yeah, I know it's a part of a package. So if you have Terron Armstead, you put picks and you kind of build a package with Armstead, whether it's picks and players or of both. You see what I'm saying? They do have offensive linemen out there, 2 really good bookends in Seattle. But who's to say that they turned down Armstead for 1 year to do it? Who knows what the asking price is? But, we'll see in the end, because he hadn't demanded a trade yet anyway. So we'll see how it shakes as free agency is approaching us, March the 15th, all this stuff going on. All these questions are going to eventually be open, man. We'll see. You know, Tess says, number one, that's what I'm saying. You bring in Wilson and cut Armstead? Nah. Tosh said, I'm going to be cheering my 6th and 10th. Rose says, he laughing. James says, I got you, Devin, but Armstead is definitely worth the first rounder. My guy, so that's actually 3 first rounders and a 3rd. So, I mean, we'll see, man. We got sentimental value attached to Terron Armstead. Seattle might not feel the same way. They might not feel that he's worth that, a first-round draft pick at his advanced age right now, even though he's a starting left tackle. He hasn't completed a full season in some time. They take that in consideration as well. And it's a number of things to consider when you talk about the value of a player to a team that he's going to. They're definitely not going to see him in quite the beautiful way that you see him, of course, because we had an opportunity to really, like and love Terron Armstead because of his contributions to the community and his play on the team. So we have a sentimental value, which Seattle does not share because he ain't do a damn thing for their community or their team, but beat their ass. So, their team anyway. So Cap Bandit said they might as well get rid of Russ right now. Russ has not demanded a trade. He just simply gave him a list. And since then, and there was a report coming out says that he doesn't want the trade. So it's some mixed information being thrown about. I don't know how true that is, but time will tell all things. Donald says if Tunzel worth 2 first round, Armstead is 2. Tunzel is worth did go for 2 first round picks. But remember, Tunzel was a lot younger when he got traded. Now Armstead is up in age, and it's not going to be the same. So I get what you're saying in terms of talent, but it's an obvious age difference between Laramie Tunzel when he got traded and Terron Armstead right now. I just don't see a first-round draft pick. Maybe they got somebody out there that would, but in the end, you look at the age and you look at all that, and then, of course, you make a decision based on that. And I find it hard to believe that at this stage of his career that you'll get a first-round draft pick for Terron Armstead. I'm just keeping it real. They factor all that in. Brandon said, I can't picture Wilson going to the Bears. Yep. So it is what it is. But anyway, family, I'd like to thank y'all for tuning on this edition of the Great Saint Think Tank. Much love to y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to jump over to the Pelican post-game report. We got a Pelican post-game report show that we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to jump over that. I appreciate and thank all of the super chatters, the super chat family members that gave to the super chat today. Also thank all of you guys for your tremendous contributions in terms of being here, your contribution and investment of time. I thank you guys for your super chats and your cash apps, PayPals as well. I thank you guys for being here. So if you're not a member of the Great Saint Think Tank, feel free to please hit the subscribe button and join the Great Saint Think Tank, the Great Think Tank today. Also hit the like button if you hadn't hit it. Feel free to share the show links on your social media feed or in Saints groups on Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you guys go. Feel free to take the Sports Coma with you. One of the realest shows out talking about that black and gold, baby. You know how we do. So much love to all y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to get over to the Pelican post-game report. If we got any Pelican family members in the building who like the Pelicans and you want a show that covers the Pelicans with the same ferocity, passion, and funny nature that we do on the Sports Coma, go over there and join the Pelican post-game report on YouTube, or simply go down to the description section. The link for the show is in the description section below, baby. So much love to the family members. I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all be safe, and I'll see y'all later. Who that to you? We'll be back Thursday. Peace.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is Saints Super Bowl.